Have you ever heard a story about someone who lost everything in a single day? Let me tell you one right now. There are moments in life when the ground beneath you shifts and everything you thought was certain crumbles. This is a story about one such moment. It was a scorching afternoon, the kind where the air felt too heavy to breathe. A woman stood frozen in the middle of the room, gripping a letter so tightly her knuckles turned white. Her husband sat across from her, head in his hands. And in that single moment, their lives changed forever. At first, the children didn't understand. But then they heard the words no child ever expects to hear. It's all gone, the business, the house, everything. Their home, the place where they learned to walk, where their father built his dreams, was slipping through their fingers like sand. That night, their father gathered them. He sat them down on the worn-out couch, his face weary, but his voice unwavering. Children, listen to me. We may have lost our home, but we have not lost our God. He will provide. They wanted to believe him. They wanted to trust that things would be okay. But all they could see was their mother's silent tears and their father working himself past exhaustion. Every morning, every night, she prayed the same prayer. Lord, your plans for us are good. Help us to receive them. She wasn't just asking for restoration. She was asking for the strength to trust in God's bigger picture. Days stretched into weeks. Then one evening there was a knock at the door. Their father hesitated before opening it, and there stood an utter stranger, carrying bags of groceries. Rice, bread, even some money. When he asked the stranger who he was looking for, the stranger explained that he felt a prompting in his spirit to get them those things for some days, and even apologized for the delay. That was the first time they saw their father cry, not from despair, but from gratitude. That knock on the door was just the beginning. Little and great miracles followed. Unexpected kindness from strangers and church members, provisions that arrived at just the right moment. Through it all, their mother kept praying. And one day, they finally understood. Trusting God isn't about knowing every detail of his plan, but believing that his plan is always good. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Even when we can't see the path ahead, God's plan is still at work. Maybe you're in a season of uncertainty. Maybe you've lost something you thought you could never live without. I won't tell you it's easy, but I will tell you this. God sees you. He knows your needs. And just as he provided for them, he will provide for you. But here's something important. Faith isn't just about waiting for a miracle. It's about trusting God, even in the waiting. They didn't stop praying, their father didn't stop working, and they didn't stop believing. Faith isn't passive, it's active. It means trusting when you don't see the answer yet. It means moving forward, knowing God has already made a way. So, my friend, if you're struggling today, take a deep breath and remember, he is still faithful. He has a plan and it is good. If this message encouraged you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. And don't forget to subscribe for more faith-filled stories.